Alright guys, so at this point I've just decided that Tarmogoyf is a faster clock, and Luke doesn't seem to have much removal. I haven't seen any removal. There isn't a sweeper, which, like, Threat costs 5 mana, and it doesn't... Its only real benefit is 5 power and putting a 4-turn clock on Luke. And Tarmogoyf just comes down earlier, and Luke plays a lot of sorceries, which Bant doesn't play. So it's generally going to be at least a 3-4 or a 4-5, which means that it's just a 2 mana... 5-turn clock, which is strictly superior to a 5 mana 4-turn clock. Alright, we're back.
So, Green Sun Zenith, Verdant Catacombs, Geist of Saint Trapped?
Oh, this is the amazing hand I had to mulligan, because so I've got a mana drain.
Just one land.
Well, just one land, and I've got a mana dork, but it's a Tundra.
Ah, I see.
It's one of the 3 lands in the deck that... No. Five lands in the deck that can't produce green. And you see me shaking my head about how amazing this hand would be if it had a different land.
Yeah, and I'm staring at Badlands, Restore, Snow-Covered Mountain, Search for Tomorrow, Island. Yeah, my hand's sweet. I think I've got a fetch land there as well, so I can get green mana.
I think I'm just waiting for Luke, and I'm about to mulligan as soon as he gives me...
Yeah, I'm on the play here.
Yeah. Oh?
No, you must have already mulliganed to 6.
Oh, I've already mulliganed?
While we weren't looking. Or you kept.
I did not keep that hand.
Okay.
I think, I'm pretty sure it was game 4. I kept... I had an amazing hand.
Okay.
There was definitely an amazing hand with a Tundra, a Mana Dork, a Geist of Saint Traft, a Mana Drain, and...
Yeah.
something else very good.
Alright, so I've drawn Stomping Ground. I've got 3 visits.
Sylvan Library, which would allow me to fish more lands in that amazing hand.
I remember my hand was 3 ramp spells, 4 lands. So, like, it's a good hand, but I really want that action. I need to draw something.
Yeah. Bit of a risky keep.
Yeah, it's risky, but like, my deck's so inconsistent that I have to risk it.
And it's what you want to be doing. Ramping in your early turns and playing gas in your late turns. You don't want to have your late turn cards in your early turns, so...
Yeah.
You know, like... You'd like the assurance that you have one of them, but you have enough of them you can just... like. It's likely you'll draw one at some point.
Yeah. There's the 3 visits we mentioned earlier. It's a functional reprint of Nature's Law. Alright, so your Green Suns for 1 here.
Oh, so this is this hand. Yep, so I already have mulliganed. So, this hand's really interesting. I kept a Green Sun Zenith Garrick hand, and I've got a Sylvan Library hand that I drew off the top, which I should have played here. This is a play mistake I'm making here right now, guys. So, what I'm figuring is that if I Green Suns here for a Mana Dork, and then I play my Garrick, I can fight something with the Garrick, one of my own creatures, and then next turn search for a creature and get Glenundra Archmage, which will then hopefully just win me the game on the spot. Theoretically. Because at the moment, I haven't actually seen many of Luke's fatties in the past 3 games. Like, he has a bunch of them, we've seen his deck list, we know he has them. But at this point, I'm starting to doubt if they're there anymore. Because he hasn't played many of them against me.
Yeah.
Or any, even. So, apart from Thragtusk. And Prime Time.
Yeah.
So...
You saw a Siege King Commander as well.
A Siege King, yeah. So, which is not good to, against... I think Glenundra is still fine-ish. It's not amazing. Yeah. But, so, I'm focused on this plan. But, what I'm forgetting is that by fighting my own Deathratch Chamber, I don't have the mana to cast the Archmage, or the creature to sack. So I have to make a wolf first. This hand's actually really slow, and I should have played the Sylvan Library here to dig for interaction, a counterspell.
Yeah, I'll just interrupt you there. It's nifty that my Restore keeps the fetch land out of the graveyard so your Deathrite Shaman can't accelerate you.
Yes, it was. I think it was a tiny bit... I had a fetch land in hand, so it was alright in the end.
Okay, yeah. I remember you had a fetch land, but I don't know if you ripped it or...
No, I had it in hand.
Yeah, okay. Do you, in general, hold your fetch lands as late as possible? Or do you like to run them out there?
It depends. It depends very much. It'll depend on the hand.
So if you've got a Brainstorm or a Jace in your hand...
Obviously the fetch lands are the most valuable card in the hand at that point. And obviously the good ones offer more options. So the ones that can fetch for like 5 or 6... The on-color ones. Everything on-color plus Polluted Delta, Marsh Flats, and Verdant Catacombs. So the bad fetch lands are the ones that don't fetch black or 2 colours. So Scalding Tarn, Guiding Tarn, Arid Mesa,
Yeah.
and Waterford Hills are all bad, and then the middle ones are the ones X-Black ones,
Yep.
and then the on-colour ones are obviously the best.
Yeah. You can hear just by this narration how deep Highlander Manor goes. It's very interesting.
Highlander Manor is great. There's a lot of thought that goes into 3-colour mana bases. Even just cracking your fetch lands and getting lands, it's some real thought process and real decision making gets made just based off lands.
Yeah, at this point, Wasteland is now 1 point, so there's a little bit of... everyone can relax a little bit when they're choosing which lands to play. Especially my deck. I know I'd like freak out when I'm fetching because I'm 4 colours and I have to keep every colour and...
I still think you need to panic a tiny bit every now and again, and you need to keep your mana base solid because there are those guys who are playing Blood Moon, Back to Basics, Magus of the Moon, and Drift of Phantasms to transmute for all those nasties, plus Vidalcan Shackles and True Name Nemesis.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware of that deck's existence, and you need to have the basics to deal with it.
Yeah, so everyone still has to maintain some level of honesty. Path to Exile is also something else that keeps basics in people's decks.
It's the only thing preventing me from cutting the planes. Every time I think I want to cut the planes, I'm like, I need to keep it. I need to keep it for against those Blood Moon guys.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's the worst land in my deck by far.
Yeah, so I lament that you still have the fetch land, regardless of my cool play. You've got Garrick Relentless, so he's going to start pumping out a clock. And you mentioned earlier that you wanted to turn it into
a Glenlandra Archmage.
Yeah.
But I've just realised that it's a turn slower than I think it is. I can fight my Deathrite Shaman next turn. But if I fought my Deathrite Shaman this turn, I wouldn't have A, the mana to play Glenlandra next turn, or B, the creature to sack. So I did some really, really horrid math in my draw step, in my opening hand when I decided to keep this hand.
Yeah. If I play Kelny Garden, you can shoot the Kelny Garden and...
Oh, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's to 0 power, so it doesn't flip the Garrick.
Correct.
Yeah, so I need to find a way to pump your County Garden somehow. So yeah, not really where I want to be.
Look at my stellar hand, eh? Oh, premium stuff. So my deck's looking a bit embarrassing right now. I've got 2 lands in hand and 8 in play.
But I'm freaking out because I know at any point he can just draw something, and I need interaction. And I'm thinking, all right, I need that Garrick to search me for that Glenlandra, and then I'll feel safe, and I can start progressing my board state and worrying about killing Luke. But first, I need to make sure I just don't die on the spot to any of his amazing top decks. So I'm going to fight my Deathrite Shaman here soon, I think, so that I can flip my Garrick. And I want to keep the Wolf because it's more damage than the Deathrite, because the Deathrite costs mana to make damage happen, and is obviously limited to the number of instant sorceries in the graveyard, although there are plenty of them right now.
Yeah.
So I just want to fight my own Deathrite to kill it, so that I can get the Glenlandra, which is the real... I'm playing top-down Magic. I'm playing my strategy against Luke's strategy here. I'm not worried about 2-for-1s or card advantage or anything like that. I just want to make sure that I don't die.
Yeah, well, your toolbox deck's pretty good at that. You can tailor your plays to your opponent.
Yeah. So here I'm just... I'm going to play my Sylvan Library and my Tarmogoyf, and then I'm going to fight my Deathrite Shaman and flip my Garrick. So next turn I can have Glenlandra and be able to activate Glenlandra.
Yeah. You might be able to hear yelling in the background and someone's taking a shower. There's like, my housemates have a gig on tonight, so it's a bit of a party vibe amongst the house. We're actually sipping on schnapps right now.
It's very tasty indeed.
It is. So you're applying more pressure to the board. There's that Sylvan Library that you can pay all the life you want.
Yep, so right now I'm thinking, I hope Luke doesn't do anything this turn. It is what I'm really thinking. I hope he doesn't draw anything this turn, because he obviously hadn't got anything, because he had a bunch of lands.
You can see what I've just drawn.
And Luke has drawn something very good here, guys. 4 mana, win the game.
Yeah, as I was saying before, sometimes my deck just...
Opportunistic, like you've just drawn it at the right times. In fact, it's both games. It's been, I've just needed one more turn just to be able to lock you out, and you've got it in the right turn, and you've crushed me. And it's what Scapeshift does, and it's what you expect the deck to do. And my hand was slow to get to interaction. As I said, I miscalculated with the Garrick. It took an extra turn than I thought it would. And I probably should have played the Sylvan Library on turn 2. And that's what I'm talking about with Luke, because I've let him know about what I mucked up, and I'm talking about how I mucked up with the Garrick.
Yeah, so at that, he's let me know that he's lost, and so now he's just talking through his line.
I really love...
analysing plays.
Analysing plays. Like, to me, Magic is a puzzle to be solved.
Yeah,
a bunch of the time. I'm sure there's a correct line, an objectively correct line. I just have to find it.
Yeah, it's a good mindset to be in. Anyway, we banter on for another 2 minutes from memory or so. So let's just
Skip ahead.
Skip ahead to the scoop phase. There it is. Except I won. So Keach is still talking.
I'm still talking. I love talking. In case you guys hadn't noticed, you know.
Yeah. You remind me of Riley Knight at the GP coverage.
Riley's extremely good at talking. He puts me to shame. He's a lot smoother than I am as well.
Alright, okay, so that was game 4. So 2-2. Go on to game 5.